Hey, Damon. Everyone got volume? Let's see.
Microphone on.
Oh, you're on.
Okay.
You're in, surprise guest.
All right.
You stay there.
I'll mute.
What about you, Damon? You there? Can't hear you.
There we go. The blue button. Got it.
Hey, we are just getting started here today while we are figuring everything out. Why don't you guys give us a hello? Let us know where you're from, where you're tuning in today. Do you guys have snow, rain? I'm in Florida and it's cold, so I know nobody's got super warm weather right now. So let's go through that real quick. Good morning. Good morning. You must be West Coast. It's afternoon here, Mario. Oh, hey, Chris. Hey, Ben. Jen's here too. Hey, Jen. Let's see. We had a little bit of technical difficulty right before this started. So I am just cleaning up some things right now before we get started so I can be better prepared for you guys. And see what we got going on today. All kinds of fun stuff. And I want to thank everybody for spending the time today to listen up to what we have to say. You know, since the start of this whole photo day thing and meeting Damon, we are seeing a lot of really great results that we think is kind of groundbreaking in the industry and what's been done before and what's happening now. And oops, sorry about that. I don't know why that's playing. But today is all about sharing that information with you guys. So hopefully you can implement it in your studio and see how it works. But we think it's really great, and we definitely wanted to share that with you guys. So what do we got? 39 degrees in Indiana. Well, it's not that cold here. So, hey, Becca. Just want to give shout outs to everyone here. So we got a packed room today. It's pretty awesome. So I guess we'll start with some general housekeeping rules. Damon and Pixnub, they give affiliate links out. And we want to ask you, if you have an affiliate link, please refrain from sharing that in the room today. And also, we're going to go over a lot of information in a little bit of time. You know, a little bit of time is like an hour. We project this taking. And we want to save all the Q&A until the end. We want to, at the end of today's webinar, you can put your questions in the window. That's cool. And we will go over them at the end of the webinar today. We'll allow for some time to that as long as we need. So you guys can get all the answers to all of your questions that you might have and that you're wondering. So first, I want to say thanks to Damon. Thanks, Damon, for doing this with Photo Day. I'm glad that you see the potential here with us working together, too. I'm excited for everything you have to offer your users. Love Pixnub, but for anyone that's here that might not know what Pixnub is, why don't you give us kind of the deal? What's it about? You know, how did it start? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I started writing this software for myself about 9 years ago. 2009, I was getting into youth sports photography. I can actually probably thank my competitors because their softwares didn't work so well for me. So having an engineering background with programming, I decided to create Easy Green Screen. That was the first one. And then everything kind of just evolved from there into what it is today. And it's more taken on the role of full automation versus just what it originally was with green screen. And so I don't actually shoot youth sports photography anymore. This is kind of my full-time gig now. It just kind of happened that way. There was really no plans at the beginning. It just sort of morphed into what it is. So
that's awesome. And then, you know, everybody always makes the comment and says what a great deal Pixnub actually is for everything that it actually does. Like your software is just such a great deal. So, or just in general. So do you have a promotion going right now, right?
Yeah, sort of a promotion. There is free trials that run without watermarks through the end of the year. That's been going since the end of October, actually. So there's about 32 more days left of that now. So
yeah, so for everyone who hasn't tried it yet, yeah, they can try it for free for now till the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Thanks. I guess what I'll do is for anyone who's here that doesn't really know what PhotoDay is or who we are, I'll give you a short intro for that. Basically, we are a whole new ecosystem for volume photography. And when I say ecosystem, I mean sales and marketing method. We're here. We figured out a way to completely eliminate the need for paper forms and manual processes, which is kind of a lot of what, how Pixnub started, is getting rid of all that manual work and more automation and, connecting to your customer in a way that Amazon connects to its customers, like with text marketing and on-demand ordering, lots of ordering flexibility. Like, consumers are able to choose their own poses from a variety of poses that you might offer. They are able to customize their own products and even choose their own graphic themes made available by our partner lab through the PhotoDay platform. It gives them a ton of flexibility there, and they can track their orders right to their front door with notifications through text, and just like Amazon. So we have a web storefront that's mobile friendly. We also have mobile apps for both iPhone and Android. Our shiny thing that I want to tell you about is FaceFind, which is a new technology that allows parents to quickly search and find images of their kids by uploading or snapping a photo of their child. And FaceFind and PhotoDay together gives the flexibility for you guys to shoot multiple poses and get multiple expressions. And that's kind of where Pixnub and PhotoDay work together to provide that ultimate experience and superior product offerings to your customers. And that's where we're really seeing those increased average order values. A product is no longer, in this world, is no longer an 8x10 or a coffee mug or a plaque. A product is actually the image you capture of your subject, and they're purchasing those images and putting them on different things. And that is what's increasing the overall sales that we're seeing with the systems combined so far. So with that said, I want to show you guys, I'm going to share my screen for a minute, and I want to show you guys a sample of a PhotoDay gallery that kind of gives you a visual of what I'm talking about when I say multiple poses, multiple expressions, multiple things with Pixnub combined. So let me share my screen so you guys can see that. So this is a gallery of images that was run through the Pixnub software. And this photographer, actually, this is Haley at SB Photos, and she shot this a few different ways. So she has in here custom memory mates that she built for each subject using Pixnub software. She also has like traditional poses in here that were extracted and on the background. She also has in here, let me show you, and traditional, extreme, and then she has extreme with a different background. So she was taking multiple poses and running this process through Pixnub and giving parents a variety, not just of the same pose, the same expression, but giving them a variety of different backgrounds and different looks for them to order with the system, obviously. And this is a PhotoDay web gallery I wanted to show you. This was another thing that she did over here. This gallery actually has, I'm going to scroll through it this way, she has it tagged by team, but kind of the same thing where she has these extreme individuals. But when you get a little bit further down, she had a separate station set up on picture day, one at green screen and one just traditional, just to give parents that variety of poses, maybe a full length shot versus that 3/4 length shot. And then she also, in this one, just did the traditional team pictures, but no extreme memory mates, and let parents build their own memory mates. But as you can see, like, you're giving parents a complete variety of images, which is not the same as what you're doing now with traditional T&I, because you can only really have one pose on that order form that the parents don't ever get to see. It's like that one pose and that's it, and they're not seeing. So now they launch this gallery and they see all these different poses and types of images that they order from. And we change the way we present our services as volume photographer using a system like this, which makes it pretty awesome. So, and this is why we're seeing that increased average order value. Now, for those of you not familiar with Pixnub, we wanted to share with you how easy it was today to use Pixnub and to effectively recreate what Haley did here in this gallery. But before we do that, I want to show you a little bit about, or talk a little bit about, you might be thinking, this is a lot of extra work. This post-processing is a lot of extra work. It's going to cost me like more money up front, and I don't have a guaranteed sales. And I know that's like a legit concern for a lot of people. But let me turn this screen off for 1 second. That's a concern for a lot of people. But what I want to say is that PhotoDay has something that we call advance pay. And advance pay allows you guys as a studio to collect money up front to kind of secure, kind of like a session fee that allows that parent to apply that money to their package purchase once the gallery is published. And what we see by studios using that advance pay method is a very high buy rate, participation rate with online sales. So, so you can do different things with advance pay, and you can even tie an offer to advance pay. So if somebody does go ahead and secure that, advance pay purchase, you can give them something like free shipping off of orders X or more, or a discount off of orders X or more, just to reward them for purchasing in advance. And that gives you guys that extra sense of security when you're going to make this investment and do that extra time to post-process, that you already have sales there waiting for you guys to actually convert those into purchases. So, and I think that's a great insurance policy. And I know that's basically what our special guest Paul did. And I want to, what I think we should do first, and I was gonna do it different. I'm gonna switch it up from what we just talked about, because I think it's gonna flow better here, Damon. So what I think I want to do first is have Paul come on, our special surprise guest, and yes, that's exactly what that means. You can do prepay for volume photography with online sales and the PhotoDay system with Pixnub. That is exactly what that means. That's our version of advance pay. So here's Mr. Paul Duke. He is a PhotoDay and Pixnub user, and I met him out of Sync Sports, and then he signed up to be a PhotoDay user. He was in our group. And Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got where you are right now, and talk about how you did and successfully executed a job.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Excited to be here. How I got started, basically, I started doing small teams, doing their team photos, and I would, manually go through and edit each template, and just kind of manually go through the process of creating what I considered extreme memory mates, because in my area here in York, Pennsylvania, most of the photographers in the area were shooting the traditional style, hold the ball, knee in the ground type photos. And I just felt like, there needed to be something different. And, just talking to different people and friends of mine, they kind of saw some of the things that I was doing and asked how they could get that into their team. So I started shooting teams here and there, and I kind of found out about Sync Sports by mistake, actually. And come to find out, it's like right up the road in my backyard. So last year was my first year at Sync Sports. And I came back this year, and that's when you guys were there and talking about the PhotoDay system. And at first I was just impressed by the face find feature of the sample photos that we did that day during the event. And it kind of just piqued my interest, like how would I be able to use this, or how could this help me do a better job, or do my job a lot better and a lot easier. Because full disclosure, I still work full time. So I didn't have the luxury of working on projects all day long or all week to get those things done. So I was always looking for a system or a method to make my job a lot easier. Like Haley had mentioned before, I kind of put some things together to kind of almost have that PhotoDay experience. But as I started listening to you guys about what you were doing, it literally sounded almost too good to be true. Like, this is exactly what I was looking for. And like we spoke on the phone, Lisa, I told you I kind of hung around in the shadows for at least 45 minutes, just listening to you talk to other people about PhotoDay and what it was doing and all the things that were going on. And I was just totally excited. I was sold right then. I decided on a lab right then. I chose Reedy Photo, and we just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I think it was the day I called you, which was we didn't actually plan to have you here with us today, but I called you, and I just said, hey, Paul, I know you ran, a couple jobs through the system. I just want to know all the bad things that happened and all the good things that happened. Just give me all of it. And you were like, I don't really know that many bad things. And I was like, what? Like,
yeah, there were a few snags here and there just because I didn't understand the system and it was still so new. But I had gotten a call maybe a week before my biggest job, which we're going to talk about here soon. And I figured the system was so easy, I was able to accept the job and get set up within a week to provide that team pictures. It was for football, and quite starkly, the differences between the two, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later, is that it almost appeared like the football job was a total flop in comparison to what we're going to be sharing with you guys later. But and we'll talk about why that is. But what it did was it gave me a chance. It gave me exactly 1 week to get more familiar with the PhotoDay system and how everything's set up. And it was so easy. It's unbelievable.
So why don't, before we show Damon's demo of how it actually works, why don't you just give us a visual of how you set up for this job, your different stations and the styles in your head that you wanted to create for the parents?
Well, like I said, we do the extreme, we do the more extreme and more dynamic type memory mates and pictures, and that's kind of what I want to be known for in our area. Now, we still shoot the traditional style for those that want it, but our main thing is usually knockouts, composites, and those type things. Actually, if you see off to my left over here, this was actually the team photo that we created using the Pixnub software. And in that, I'll pull it up for you. This is actually 93 gymnasts that are in this photo that we did in approximately 20 minutes with the Pixnub software. We just set it up and let it run, and 20 minutes later, it's all set up. And I jokingly said to a lot of friends that I've made in the volume photography business that, you know, if they knew me 2 years before I found out about Pixnub, we're no longer friends, because this software, I mean, it's amazing, you know, what it can do. And like I said, it only took me a week, maybe a couple of days, maybe even a couple hours just to, you know, get the hang of it and figure it out and get everything up and running.
Yeah. That's great. Ooh,
it's amazing. So, so the job that I have here, it's a local gymnastics group. And full disclosure, it's my daughter is on the team, and my wife is actually the president of the organization. Now that not organization, but the Booster Club. And that would sound like that's almost a shoe-in, but actually I had to sell her on the fact that I actually had a system that would make picture day extremely simple. Because their biggest issues were, oh, well, our parents aren't that technical. Oh, well, to get them to text this number and do this and do that, our parents will never do that. They'll never cooperate. They won't buy pictures because they only like the traditional style, you know, all those type of objections. And, you know, I just said to her, it will work. Trust me, it will work. And we will get in there and we will do it. We'll do it simply. We'll do it quickly, which was an issue for their previous photographers and what they had. And with that team picture, I told them going in, we weren't dragging out risers. We weren't trying to line up, you know, 93 gymnasts to get, you know, pictures and try to make sure nobody's blinking or nobody's making, you know, inappropriate gestures and, you know, all those type things. And, you know, and even she, you know, even she helps me out a lot in, you know, in assisting with my shoots, but she didn't understand exactly how I was going to put all this together. So in total, we had three stations set up. One was our team and individual green screen station. We had an individual station set up for the individual users, for the individual athletes, and then we had our team level station. So basically, and we timed it on our green screen setup. We had each athlete do several poses. One, they would stand straight, which would be for the team composite, and then they would do their individuals. So they just hand on hips, smile, no smile, cross your arms, turn to the side, smile, no smile, and then they would move to the next station. Each athlete in that setup took maybe about a minute and a half. I had my wife time it, and it was exactly 45 seconds to do all the shots on the green screen. We did it in record time. We had kids, or we didn't have to have parents sitting there all day. Parents loved it. Loved that they could come in, have their kids line up for pictures, and they could go home within 15, 20 minutes. So we were well ahead of schedule, and we had compliments already before we had even, you know, anybody had even seen a single picture. They were just totally enamored with the amount of time that it took.
Yeah, I think a lot of concerns that I hear too is that it does take, you know, like you're drawing attention to, like it takes a lot of time to do that posing for these different varieties of images. And obviously the scary part of shooting green screen, you know, you got to be legit there with your lighting and make sure everything is set correctly so you can have a successful Pixnub experience and an expedited Pixnub experience. And that gets so important when doing something like this, especially these extreme teams as you call them, like in the background there. You know, it's so important that they're lit correctly, and that the perspective is correct for every single kid, and you're just very consistent for that to actually turn out and look like a professional photograph and not something that somebody just hacked together. So,
well, I do want to mention that I sent a message to Damon because I did have some trouble with that, as you mentioned, because even though I did have the lighting set up for the subject, I didn't light the green screen properly. But even in making the changes that I did in Lightroom, Pixnub was able to go back and extract the images perfectly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's quite. I mean, it's quite lenient in its setup, and it's a very good software. Like I said, anybody that knew me before, we're not friends again. So I want to now. I think that's a perfect transition into showing. We're going to show you guys how that Pixnub Flow actually works. For those of you that don't know, this video is about 9 minutes, I think, right, Damon? 9 minutes?
Yeah, 9 minutes.
So I'm going to play this for you guys so you guys can see what this process actually looks like for the post-processing on the back end. So let me go ahead and play this video.
Hello everyone, this is Damon here with Pixnub Software. This is just a quick video to discuss the different plugins we have that are useful for youth sports photography. And the first one, if you're shooting green screen, is Easy Green Screen. Now this is in 2 menu locations with the latest version. I'm going to demonstrate the extension panel here. And by the way, version 7 is going 100% to the extension panel menu. I'm just going to do a quick extraction and put that in the background. This is actually it works pretty well as long as your green screen is set up decent and you have good lighting. It usually doesn't give you too many issues. All right, now that I got that extracted, I could just put that in the background. I guess it didn't copy. Go back and retry that. And of course, you would scale and move it into place, and then edit your text as you need. But it's really that quick and easy. Another thing you can do is batch process your extractions. Just going to do a quick demo here. And one thing too is you can save a preset in Easy Green Screen with the settings you want, and you can also apply those settings during the batch process. So I'm just going to run this. It's just doing 3 images to make it quick. And then we'll take a look at them when it's done. All right, the batch process has finished. The 3 images in 43 seconds for 14 seconds an image. And this computer is actually usually considerably faster, but I am recording 4K video, which slows it down quite a bit. Anyway, let's just open up these images. And what's cool about the batch processing is you can just hit the go button and walk away, and you don't even have to be there when it's processing. You can see that we've got 3 really nice extractions. Okay, so the next demonstration I'm going to do is running the Sports Photo Automation plugin. Now what this is meant to do is to automate your composition building. Automating the extractions is okay, but you still have a lot of work left over if you do that with building your compositions. Well, this is meant to automate that whole process. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either use green screen images and run the extractions and build the compositions at once, or you can give it images that are already extracted, which is what I'm going to do here, and that way you can use it with images that you've sent to a lab for extracting or images that you've extracted with white screen as well. It doesn't have to be green screen. So I'm just using those extractions that I did in that last batch, and one thing I'm going to do is load some CSV data. And this data is meant for replacing text in your PSD template, among other things. It can do actually quite a few different things. But for this, I'm going to keep it simple. And here is the spreadsheet. And basically just replacing the first and last name and also rescaling the first and the last name to compensate for names that have different number of letters in them. Now, the resizing is optional, and even using this is optional, but I'm just going to demonstrate just a very basic CSV use here. So right now it's taking the first image and it's running face detection, and then it's building the composition based on the face positioning. And we'll take a look at these images when they're done. All right, so that's finished the 3 images in 11 seconds an image. And actually this computer usually does those in about 7, but since I'm recording 4K video, it does slow it down considerably. And then we'll just open those images that it finished. You can see that now we have 3 completed images. And notice the position of the face if I go back and forth between the different images. The face is in the same position and the overall scaling is roughly the same for each image. And that's because it uses the face detection to automatically position the face and to scale the image. So even if you're not shooting exactly the same way, it's going to find the face and position and scale anyway. So also the text, you notice that it did replace the names from that spreadsheet. And as you can see, the players with less names in their, or less letters in their name take up the same footprint as the names that have more letters. Now that is, again, an optional thing. So the next program I want to discuss is Easy Team Builder. Going to do a multi-row team demonstration here. And there are some settings you can adjust for this row spacing and player scaling and alignments. Be sure to watch the other videos as well. I'm just going to change the player scaling down a little bit because this is a football team and this will compensate for the shoulder pads so there's not as much overlap. And that's it. I'm just going to hit run. It'll ask to verify the settings. And then at this point it brings you up just a default row setting, but you can change these. And in this demonstration there's 8 coaches. So I think I'm going to make this 10 so there's 1 player on each side of the coaches. So you can just change these up as you need. You just have to make sure that the number of images in the folder equals the number of images that you've assigned to your rows. And it won't even let you continue unless those equal. All right, we'll just watch it finish. All right, we're completed here, and it took about 4 minutes to build that team image. And then they're nice and organized into layer groups. And you've got 1 layer per player. And then you can move your rows around as needed. And you can also move individual players around or coaches as needed as well. So everything is adjustable. And that's about it. And like I said, there are some settings that you can do to change your row spacing and some other things, but be sure to watch the tutorials for that. Alright, so the last program I want to discuss is the image extract program. Now that's the one that's meant to help you out with white and gray screen extractions. If you've installed the old beta that was under the filter menu, make sure to uninstall that and reinstall the new one, which is a Photoshop HTML panel extension, and that'll be under the window and the extensions menu. I'm going to dock it into a tab group. This is how I like to work with them. And so this is different than Easy Green Screen. It's not a one-click extraction, but it can help you speed up your extractions. So it has a similar feature that Easy Green Screen has with the dual mask. And basically that allows you to select the hair, and then it's going to process those edges a little bit differently than it is the rest of the image. So once I've selected the hair, I'm going to select define hair area and select subject. So this is going to store that area as the hair region so it can apply the edges differently. Then it's going to run the Photoshop select subject. At this time you can use any of the Photoshop tools, and you can select the tools from the regular Photoshop menu as well, because being in an HTML panel you have full control of Photoshop at the same time. So you're just going to make the edges so they line up as good as you can at this point. And then once you hit the remove background, it's going through a pretty sophisticated process. You can see it's building a lot of layers and doing lots of things. It's trying to clean up those edges the best it can for you to minimize your workload with having to fine-tune those edges. Now you can see it brings you into the select and mask panel. The extraction actually looks pretty good. the hair area is a little bit softer and more feathered. And then around the uniform and the skin, you can see the edges are a lot cleaner, which is what you want. You want the hair more feathered. You also have control of your different settings, and you can brush in the selected mask. We don't really need to for this image, but you will have images that you need to touch up a little bit. But that just speeds up your workflow. And there's also a batch processor. And this is different than the green screen batch processor. It's not walk away, but what it will do is open up each image for you, and then as soon as you're finished, you hit save and continue, then it closes that and opens the next image. So it really speeds up your workflow. And once you're good at this, you can get this down to maybe a minute to two an image.
All right, and we are back. You guys, hope you enjoyed that demo of Pixnub, courtesy of Damon. Let's see, I think everyone can hear us still. Hopefully, somebody will give us a shout out. I always just get a little paranoid going between like sharing my screen and getting back on the air and just making sure everyone can see it properly. But okay, so now you guys kind of see the workflow that Paul did after he shot this event. So Paul, why don't you give us the details about this event and how, let's talk about the money part, because I think everyone wants to know about the money, right? That's what you guys want to know. How much money is this going to bring me? Let's think about that.
Well, that's what the end goal is, right? So, so what we did, we use Becky DeCenti's method of prepaying. This is actually just before advance pay had come about. And what we did was we had told all the parents to bring $10 the day of pictures so that their kids can get pictures. And before I go into that, one of the things I wanted to talk about that I mentioned before about the differences between the football event that we did and the gymnastics event that we did was timing and communication. Time to get parents into the mindset of things were changing. So what happened was when the football league contacted us a week before picture day, we really didn't have a whole lot of time to communicate with parents and educate them about the photo day system and how things would work. We had a few orders, and we actually did pretty okay based on the per order sales that we had gotten. But because we didn't have enough lead time, a lot of the parents weren't, I'm guessing, familiar with how to get the pictures, or they weren't even there that day to get the information. So one of the things we did that I think was a key to our success, we used these posters here, and we hung these around the gym like 3 weeks before photo day. And Lisa, you can recognize these because these are right in the marketing
yes,
tools.
they are. Right in the marketing.
So we just downloaded it, customized it for our brand look, and hung them around the gym. And we had people text their photo code before picture day. Honestly, when picture day came, we only had about 21 people register. So what we did is the day of pictures, we had people set up. Like I said, we had already instructed them to bring $10 the day of photos. And at the table, when they checked their child in, our attendants had them text the code that day right there at the table. So our numbers jumped up quite significantly in doing that. Also, communication with the booster club was big because they send out a letter every week. And what we did is we provided them that same advertisement and information about the picture day system photo day system we were going to use on picture day. Sorry, I get those two words mixed up sometimes. And just kept in constant communication on how things were changing and what they needed to do. And on picture day, we took home $960 just in advance deposits.
Can I throw up your numbers from Insights, just that top bar as you're talking about this?
Sure, go right ahead.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it'd actually probably be easier for me to talk from.
Okay. Let's see what I can get here. I'm gonna throw that up on the screen real quick so you guys can see it. It might be, I just didn't want to do this sensitive information, but I don't know if I'll have another way. Hopefully none of you guys will call these parents. So, but there you go.
There's a little camera icon.
You guys see it? Do you see it, Paul?
Yep, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me see your face. There's a little camera icon. Now, can you see my video?
Yep, I can see you.
Okay, all right. I had something from Marissa saying she couldn't see me, but anyway, so the numbers across the top. Those are the unique views. How many times people have gone in and seen the gallery. The order sales count, Lisa, is the number of people that texted and ordered, right?
Right, yeah, they had ordered from the text or they ordered from the web link. Either way, they placed an order. That's your total sales. And this doesn't include that $10 in cash you took up front, right?
Exactly. So you can throw almost another $1,000 on top of that order, and we have an average sale of $50, and that was unheard of before. I mean, before you would be happy to get $20 for, a total order from parents, but because they were able to see the pictures up front and have a variety of items to choose from, it was just, it made it way too easy. And as you can see, the pictures that are showing now, those were the individual photos that we did, just a little something special, a little razzle dazzle we wanted to do, because again, this was our first year doing the pictures for this team. And like I said, I felt as though I needed to come with it because number one, my daughter's on the team. And number two, my wife is the head of the SSBC. So I basically wanted to jump out the gate and show that what we were doing was for real, and it wasn't a decision for them to go with us just because of our association. So with the photo day system, I was able to, take down all guards and just bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, orders are, $50 an order. We have, I'm gonna call it 100% participation. I mean, because some of those parents had two kids in gymnastics. So some of those orders won't even show up individually; they'll show up together. I think our highest sale for this one was somewhere around $120, $125, $166.
Yeah, you
actually what was our highest order. We never had anything like that before. It's ridiculous. And with the Pixnub software, creating the memory mates and the team photo, which we talked offline, that I never thought anyone would purchase. So, I really didn't give much to it, but wanted to give, it was a requirement to get the team, that we gave a team picture. And, you know, to my surprise, there were a lot of people that were interested in the team picture. I hadn't even included it for Photo Day.
Yeah, I think we have some questions popping up that I wanted to answer. The first thing is we have users looking at that payout. And I just want to say that studio payout, that's the profit. That's after all the lab expenses are paid. And 10%, Photo Day is 10% of your sales less sales tax and shipping, obviously. And that is Paul's payout. That was that plus the sales tax he collected, so he can pay his sales tax. What that doesn't include is the $1,000 he took up front in the cash method. He generated that coupon for every single parent. He took that $10 from for a $10 off their $20 or more purchase. Right? It was 10 off of 20. Was that it?
Yep.
Yeah. So that $10, he, gave them a coupon. So you're not seeing that $1,000. So that payout was really more like $3,600. It's just that he collected part of it in cash. And then why don't you talk about how many subjects did you photograph here, Paul?
93 girls.
And then you got 93 orders. So that's pretty good. You can see here, just going to show you guys this really quick. You see one order here that has two separate orders here, but there's the same email address. That parent could have ordered once for themselves and then ordered once and shipped it to like a relative. Kind of like what you do with Amazon. You're allowing them to purchase things and ship them wherever they want. So at the convenience of the parents, they don't have to repack it and send it back out again. So that actually that also helps with sales in addition to the Pixnub workflow. So yeah, so that's what that is, you guys. And that studio payout here also, I think, total studio payout, and then includes the taxes. That's what that is. Double check myself so I make sure I'm telling you the truth.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was pretty awesome. Thanks for letting me share this, Paul. I know people are always so eager to see like what this actually looks like on the back end. So, very good, very good. So these orders all ship directly to the customer. I think what I also want to talk about here is I will stop sharing my screen for a second. And what I also want to let you guys know that after Paul did the photography and the post-processing with Pixnub, he uploaded everything to PhotoDay, and no lab submissions, no data entry, no worrying who got what. Was there mix-ups? I forgot to send something to the lab. Like none of that. None of that, right? No, none of that at all. In fact, just to kind of plug Reedy Photo, I got a call maybe Monday morning after the gallery went live, because orders had already started coming in. And one of the parents ordered something that it basically, they ordered it in a format that basically cut off the memory mate template. So they wanted to know how I wanted to handle it, if I wanted to upload an individual photo or if I wanted to change the format. And basically what it alerted me to was that the memory mate that I was using was not in an 8x10 format, and I had missed that. So once again, Pixnub showed up and was a superstar, because all I did was resize the memory mate and just run it all over again, and probably no shorter than an hour, I had an entire gallery of memory mates redone. Nice, very nice. So yeah, let me, I want to show you, take this time, a little bit of time now to show you guys the back end of PhotoDay. And then I'll just show you, because we have a question, how parents find their photos. So I just want to show you really quick what those options are and how Paul sorted them for this job in particular. This is a preview of the web gallery. Just wanted to show you guys, this is also mobile friendly, as well as we have native apps for both iPhone and Android, in case you missed that part. Now, in this gallery, Paul has set up here what we call tags in PhotoDay to make it simple for people to find their pictures. And what he did here, I don't know if he manually tagged them or if he zipped them.
No, once I actually organized them when I downloaded them to my computer. I separated them into different level folders, and did all the composites and did all the work there, and then just added them all into folders, into zip folders, and then uploaded them.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Jinsuk, yes, the memory mates here were all made with Pixnub, right, Paul? Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, and also, I just wanted to show you guys, so you have this tag feature. Our software, if there's already kind of post-processing, if you guys are already sorting into folders, like teams or individual folders inside of a main folder, once you zip that up and upload it using the PhotoDay uploader, it will retain all of those folder names as tag names and do this for you, or you can manually tag them. So you can do either or. We also have, I talked about at the beginning, is Face Find. Face Find allows the parent to upload a picture of their kid or quickly snap one if they're using the app experience, and it will find their children and all the pictures that they're in quickly using the Face Find, which is face recognition. So, and it works very quickly. It will find their buddy shots, their team pictures or group pictures, and it'll cluster them all together and present them very quickly for mom or dad or grandparents to view. So Face Find is kind of the magical, easy way to find pictures for people who are not comfortable with that. It's still a new technology, but thanks to the iPhone and being able to unlock the phone with your face, Face Find and face recognition is becoming more normal with today's technology as more companies adopt it on that level. The tags, we always recommend tagging just for parents that aren't comfortable though. And then of course, I'm in the web gallery, so it defaults to kind of a view all photos view. Now, for those of you guys wondering about how to record data, I just see a question that just popped up. There's no need to take data or write image numbers down at all. So you don't have to do that anymore with our system. For individually protected galleries, like for schools or preschools, guys, we have an announcement we are making. PhotoDay is making at SPAC in Vegas this January. And we will be announcing that feature. It will not be, I'll give you a teaser, there will be no QR codes or barcodes. If we make it this simple for volume, sports, and events, we're gonna make it really simple for that school thing for you guys. So there's something great coming, and that's about all the information I can give you at this point. But I wanted to share that with you today. I guess we'll answer some questions here. Let's see. Yeah, so you can make memory mates with Pixnub. Yeah, you can do that. That's there. That works, no problem. Damon's got that down pat.
I will point out too that the methods that are used with the sports photo automation, there's new methods coming for version 7 that are going to be much, much easier as well. So with the question that was for, can you do multiple individuals? What's going to happen for version 7 is you're going to be able to drag in specific layer folders that are Pixnub specific, and you won't have to use any math. Like now you have to put in like the position of the face and the scaling you want. It'll be like a little silhouette. You can just scale onto your image for image 1, image 2, and then the Pixnub software is going to go take your image and match those silhouettes on your PSD. So that's the biggest hang up people get, is having to set up your proportions and sizing for that. So I'm making it much easier, but I don't have an exact release date yet, so don't hold me to a date, but it'll be in 2019 sometime.
Yeah, well, I want to do, we got some people from Canada in here, and I wanted to just quickly address that. We are, we launched this last summer at Sync Sports was our initial, here's Photo Day to the world, guys. You can sign up and use it now. It was in June. So we launched in the US first. We are using text marketing, which means like what Paul talked about earlier in his flow. He hung those posters up, and his people are texting that code, and it connects them to the gallery for all Picture Day communications via text marketing. Because of that, we have a US short code right now. There are a couple of factors that play into going into Canada, not just having a lab there, but being text market friendly in Canada as well. So we get that question all the time. We are working towards that. That is the goal, guys. So I'm sorry I can't give it to you right now in Canada, but trust me, if we could, we would right now. We are working on it. So please stay with us, bear with us as we expand international here. But it's really good. But just to give you a little bit of a background with how quickly things happen with our Photo Day team is we actually had this concept in January of 2017. It really wasn't a long time ago. We didn't even start actually writing a single line of code until October of 2017. And we launched Photo Day 1.0 in June of 2018. And to me, that's like pretty amazing, guys. So it's going to happen fast. I promise you that. We let's just like, I was talking to the guys earlier. It's like building a building. You build a foundation, you put the walls up, put the sheetrock on, pick out your colors, pick out your light fixtures, and put all the fancy stuff and decorate. And just kind of how you build software, especially using all this new technology. So got some more questions here. Damon, you got everybody excited about Pixnub. They want to know how much it costs.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So there's going to be a couple changes coming at the beginning of the year. One thing is there's going to be a sports key just for the sports-specific programs, and that's going to be $500. The master key that's out there right now is $600. That's actually going to be $750, but there will be a period where I match the old price of $600. But for sports photographers, it's actually going to be cheaper if that's all you need. It includes everything that I showed in the video. The master key will include all the non-sports stuff as well. So, which there is some more stuff coming out, which is why that's increasing to $750, because I'm including the price of the next program that I've not really announced yet. So
it's top secret, guys.
Top secret. Although if you watch the video, I left the panel up by accident, so you can probably see it if you replay it. So, but again,
hours from now.
but again, it's. I'll just throw it out there. There's a live event processor coming out, but it's not going to be really something for sports. More kind of like Santa Claus in the mall pictures. For people wanting to print out picture packages for doing live events. Sports photo automation eventually will also have a live processor too. So there'll be a live option for the sports, which is a little more complex than the live option for simple picture packages. But that's all I'll say about that. No time frame on that I can announce. So
yeah. That's awesome. And you weren't going to say anything, so we got
I wasn't, but I kind of mentioned it. I was asking some questions on the Facebook group, so some people already know about it. But yeah, there's development going on with that.
So for those of you that might be interested in learning more about Photo Day and actually seeing what it's all about, front to, back to front end, like the whole thing, we have a webinar coming up. We scheduled it just to piggyback onto this webinar in case we had users interested that are maybe Pixnub users looking at how they can implement Photo Day into their workflow, or maybe you're just brand new to both. So I guess I'll look for that link. I'll post it right now. And you got a question here about what option is best for sports photographers for Pixnub?
Just buy the whole thing. You'll make it back in no time.
Yeah, as I mentioned, those programs that I showed in that video, those will be combined for $500. Those are all you need for sports. The master key will have the extra stuff that's non-sports. The only one I didn't show was the face recognition program, the portrait crop program, which the sports photo automation was piggybacking off of to do the face detection part. As of today or tomorrow, the new release of sports photo automation is coming out that won't need portrait crop. So they're complete separate entities now. So whatever I showed in that video is all you'll need for sports. But the other stuff is still good if you do non-sports. So
yeah. Does anyone have more questions they'd like to ask? We're right about at an hour now. I know, don't want to take all your afternoon up, and I know probably it's lunchtime on the West Coast, so we're approaching lunchtime. So that'll be great. So I'm happy that you guys joined us today. I'm really grateful for you guys tuning in, especially for your time, Damon, and for your time, Paul. Your story is just so awesome. Like I said, I didn't even plan to have you here when we planned this webinar, and after that phone call, I was like, you've got to share with everyone.
I mean, I was totally excited to share. I mean, because like I said, it was a fight getting to even photograph the group. It was a fight to get my own wife to believe, I knew what I was doing. But with the PhotoDay system and Pixnub, I mean, we came out like rock stars.
It's awesome. It's great. It's a great thing to see a vision come to life and unfold and really help you guys out. I know I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, and just being able to help, specifically in volume, and just being able to help volume photographers like you guys have more time with your families and more time being able to focus on, creating better photography and options for moms, because that's going to make more money in your pocket by default. And, this technology altogether, I think, is a win-win combination with Pixnub combined with PhotoDay, because it's something that they can't do with their own cell phone. What you can do with Pixnub, and then, but we're putting the products right in the hands into their cell phone so they can quickly place an order. So I think it's pretty awesome. One more question here. It says, I don't need to upgrade another master key since I have one already. Is that right? Yeah.
What's that?
Question here is, they want to know if they need to upgrade to another master key since he has one already. I don't think there is upgrade costs, right?
No. Master key is a lifetime license, so if you got a key, you're good.
Cool, awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in today, everyone, and all of our awesome guests. And you guys know where to hunt us down on Facebook or on our websites if you need more information. So, oh wait, one more question before we go. I see Mario has one. Is there a video that teaches how to put together the CSV for batch processing? Damon, you got videos, tutorials?
Yeah, there's actually a written instruction webpage with a video for that specific one. If you just go to the Pixnub site and under, I think the link's called Help at top, and then it's got the different plugins. Just go to that, the one for sports photo automation, and it'll have a list of tutorials.
Awesome. All right, guys. So I'll see some of you at next week's walkthrough. Thanks again, Paul and Damon.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Paul.
Bye, guys.